assures of improved security, standard of living in Easter message. Obi presidency disagree over Tinubu's airport meeting with Jos attack victims. Lagos announced road closure ahead of April 6 Fanti Carnival. Good evening and welcome to News Express on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos, a blend of national, local, political, international sports and entertainment news. I'm Ayo Adekeye and now the news in detail. Today marks one of the most significant moments in Christianity as believers around the world commemorate Good Friday. It is a day that reflects the suffering, crucifixion and ultimate sacrifice of Jesus Christ for the redemption of mankind. Speaking on the significance of the day, Reverend Mirabel Mary Daniel of the Methodist Church of Cathedral of Unity said the cross is a symbol of love and selflessness. She urged Christians to embrace values such as care, compassion and forgiveness in their daily lives, noting that these virtues remain central to the message of Christ.
The purpose of Jesus coming in Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. Mary, you have a child and his name shall be called Jesus because he shall save his people from sin. We have this power of sin and nature and flesh that controls man. And that is why no matter what a man does, you see yourself struggling because we are struggling under the law, under our flesh, under our power. Power of sin was demolished at the cross.
Also speaking, Venerable Festus Okpara of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion emphasized the significance of the death of Jesus Christ, describing it as the foundation of the Christian faith.
The essence of the death of Christ, number one, is to reconcile men to God. That because of the fall, man fell out of favor with God. And so his death, or the death of Jesus, was actually a process of reconciling men to God. And secondly, also to deal with the issue of sin. Today we are celebrating that day Jesus went all the way to Calvary to deal with the issue of sin that has been a problem of humanity.
For millions of faithful, the day is not just a remembrance of death, but a powerful reminder of the depth of God's love for humanity and the promise of salvation. And now President Bola Tinubu says the concerted efforts to actively tackle insecurity in the country are yielding breakthroughs. The president gave the assurance in a statement to mark the Easter celebrations, noting that the season should remind citizens of sacrifice, resilience, and the triumph of light over darkness. He acknowledged that despite the sacrifices of the armed forces and other security agencies, challenges to national security have persisted. According to him, during his condolence visit to Jos Plateau State, security chiefs had given strong assurance of progress, while international support was also being mobilized to reinforce Nigeria's response. The president's Easter message comes hours after his visit to Jos, Plateau State capital, where he met with families of the deadly attack that left at least 28 people dead and many others injured on Palm Sunday. In the meantime, a former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has criticized President Bola Tinubu over his handling of the recent condolence visit to Plateau State. Obi, in a post on social media, faulted Tinubu for meeting victims of the Jos attack at the airport rather than visiting the affected communities. He described the approach as lacking compassion, insisting that true leadership requires physical presence and empathy in moments of crisis. Earlier, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said the President met with the families of victims at the airport because the runway at the airport does not support night flights due to the absence of navigational aids. According to him, the constraint made it unfeasible for the President to drive into town, meet victims for on-the-spot assessment, and return to the airport before dusk. The visit came days after gunmen attacked Anguan Rukabu district of Jos local government area on Palm Sunday, killing at least 28 people. From security to politics, where the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has warned that if the African Democratic Party (ADC) decides to go ahead with the Congress and Convention, the court will declare the election invalid, and the second highest number of votes will be declared the winner. The chairman of the commission, Professor Josh Amokpito, speaking in an interview, clarified that INEC cannot monitor ADC's Congress until a court unbundles the inconsistency in the party.
If they are saying that we've taken side, that is not true. Because if you look at status quo antebellum, we try to interrogate it. And it naturally means that if they are going ahead with their Congress, with their convention, it is left for them to look at it, whether it is in contravention of the court of... I think they don't just take a decision. There was another of court. Don't do anything. Don't take any step that will render any proceeding before the court nugatory. And also that will force on the court of appeal on the trial court, a situation of helplessness, of fait accompli. It happened in the past. We don't want to conduct an election without this early warning. And at the end of the day, after you have won, the court again will come and declare the election invalid. And the implication is that the person with the second highest number of votes will be declared the winner. It happened in Plateau State.
It further noted that the ADC cannot accuse INEC of taking sides because the internal crisis in the party was not orchestrated by the electoral umpire.
If they are saying that we've taken side, that is not true. Because if you look at status quo antebellum, we try to interrogate it. And it naturally means that the status before the hostility started. And in there's several authorities that says the status before the war and the status when things were peaceful, the peaceful conduct until the controversy came. So if you look at it from that perspective, and there are Supreme Court decisions to that effect, that when status quo is even different from status quo antebellum. So when you talk of status quo antebellum, it means I have to go back. And that was a specific order of the Court of Appeal.
Amokpito was responding to David Mark-led ADC that declared lack of confidence in the electoral body, calling for the sack of the chairman. Similarly, the All Progressive Congress (APC) has urged the David Mark-led faction of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) to follow due process and desist from misleading Nigerians about the ongoing leadership dispute within the party. APC National Secretary Ajibola Bashiru, while addressing newsmen today, dismissed calls for the removal of INEC chairman, describing the demand as undemocratic and a blatant disregard for established constitutional procedures. INEC had announced the withdrawal of recognition of prominent ADC figures, including the national chairman David Mark and National Secretary Rauf Aregbesola, pending judicial determination. A move ADC described as politically influenced by the Bola Tinubu-led APC government to rig the 2027 general elections. In a separate development, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has accused the Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, of falsehood and deceit in his political dealings. Governor Mohammed, who had repeatedly denied plans to leave the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Tuesday, suggested that the African Democratic Congress, ADC, could be his preferred political destination.
The APC-led federal government think they can use the courts, the institution of government like the EFCC, to persecute and prosecute Nigerians that are not within their own party. If they don't stop, we are going to declare war. I assure you we are not going to keep quiet any longer. I won't allow anybody to criminalize me because I'm not in their party. And I refuse to join their party. And I will not join their party.
During a meeting with a delegation of the ADC led by Babacha Lawal, Mohammed accused Wike of contributing to the crisis in the PDP. However, in a response today, Wike alleged that Mohammed had privately admitted visiting Lagos to meet President Bola Tinubu, where he reportedly pledged to remain in the PDP while secretly supporting the president.
Forward. There's no doubt that we have that they want to have tributes. I said, okay, what position do you want to have? He said, we should give the national secretary. I said, come on. It was there he told me, and I never knew. Yes, even though he told me, he was just coming back from Lagos. My man never went to him, went to see Mr. President. I want to see President. I told President that, look, I can't move to APC. I want to be in PDP to support you. I said, He told President that. But that was the same accusation they are giving me now. I'm supposed to say I'm trying to destroy PDP. Of course, you know we're all politics. I should give him till tomorrow. Let him go and meet his people and get back to me. I never saw him again. Then what they announced was ADC leadership going to see him. And then we're talking about character.
Addressing the future of the PDP, Wike confirmed that it will be on the ballot in the 2027 general elections and will present a presidential candidate.
Forward. There's no doubt that we have a lot of work to do. But what is important that PDP will be in the ballot 2027 as against pundits who have written off that PDP will not be there. And we are going to make a great impact in certain areas. And we have put this convention behind us. As far as I'm concerned, the convention is come and gone. People are trooping in, and we are saying the door is open. Yes, we have had crises, that the crises are over. Do we still have to shut our doors? No. No, certainly not. So a lot of things are going on. I can tell you how many people who have left the party that have indicated interest to really come back. And we said the doors are open.
Wike's remarks come on the heels of the PDP's recent Congress, where new party leaders were elected in preparation for the 2027 elections. Back home, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Fatai Tijani, has ordered a massive deployment of personnel and operational assets across the state ahead of Easter celebrations. In a statement by the command spokesperson, SP Abimbola Debisi, the police chief assured residents of adequate security before, during and after the festivities. The CP said the command had put in place a comprehensive and proactive security architecture to ensure peaceful, safe and age-free celebration across the state. He wished Christians a happy Easter, urging them to reflect on the values of love, sacrifice and peaceful coexistence that come with the season. Meanwhile, Lagos State government has announced temporary road closures ahead of the Lagos Fanti Carnival, scheduled for Monday, April 6. In a statement issued through the State Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, authorities disclosed that the closures are part of traffic management measures to ensure smooth and safe carnival experience. The affected roads include King George Road at the junction by Mobi Filling Station, Onika Roundabout inbound TBS, Flagstaff House inbound TBS, Outer Marina by State House inbound TBS, Campbell Street by the Old Defense Building, and Catholic Mission Street by St. Nicholas Church. All road closures will take effect from 7 in the morning on the day of the event. Motorists were advised to plan their movement accordingly and make use of alternative routes during the period. The state government expressed regret over any inconvenience the closure may cause and appealed for public cooperation. To the foreign scene, where U.S. President Donald Trump asked lawmakers to approve a massive $1.5 trillion defense budget for 2027 as the United States faces rising costs from its war with Iran and mounting global security commitments. The proposal will lift the Pentagon's spending by more than 40% in a single year, the sharpest increase since World War II. The request highlights the growing financial pressure of a conflict now in its 5th week and sets up a political battle in Congress over how to fund a dramatic expansion of military spending. Trump framed the defense increase in urgent terms, arguing that military investment must take precedence during wartime, even at the expense of federal social programs. Now to sports, where Victor Osimhen has been named Footballer of the Year at the 72nd Annual Milliet Sports Award. The Milliet Sports Award is considered one of the most prestigious honors in Turkey. Osimhen played a key role in Galatasaray's domestic double last season. The Nigerian international registered 26 goals and 4 assists in 30 league appearances for the Yellow and Red. The 27-year-old added 7 more in the UEFA Europa League and 5 in the Turkish Cup. This season, the striker has contributed 19 goals and 7 assists in 29 appearances across all competition for Galatasaray. Non-entertainment veteran Nollywood actor Taiwo Hassan, known as Ogogo, has revealed why he would not intervene in the recent fight between actress Toyin Abraham and Funke Akindele. Ogogo made the disclosure during an interview after Funke Akindele had on Sunday, during Iyabo Ojo's movie premiere, snubbed Toyin Abraham. The incident happened 8 months after reconciliation of their year-long feud. Refusing to speak on the incident during the interview, Ogogo disclosed that women's fights are too complicated to get involved in. while scolding the duo for not being sensible enough to appreciate what God has done for them in the entertainment industry. Ogogo noted that it is only unwise for a man to interfere in women's drama. His comment came a day after veteran actress Madame Shaje announced that she had addressed the dispute and ordered them to take the drama off social media. As we conclude News Express on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM this evening, as a recap of the major stories. I told you President Bola Tinubu said the concerted efforts to actively tackle insecurity in the country are yielding results. The former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, criticized President Tinubu over his handling of the recent condolence visit to Plateau State. Finally, in the news, Lagos State government announced temporary road closure ahead of the Lagos Fanti Carnival scheduled for Monday, April 6th. That's News Express. On behalf of the production team, I'm Ayo Adekeye saying thank you for listening and happy holidays.
This is your number one station for the best music, news, sports, entertainment, and lifestyle.
If two brothers fight to death, strangers will inherit their father's property. After Nigeria gained independence in 1960, the major ethnic groups, Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, started having serious disagreements over power and leadership. This internal conflict grew worse, and by 1967, the country entered a civil war when the eastern region tried to break away as Biafra. While Nigerians were busy fighting each other, foreign countries stepped in, not to help, but to sell weapons and push their own interest. Innocent people suffered and Nigerians' growth was held back. The war ended, but the lesson remains. When brothers fight, strangers take over. Nigeria lost a lot because unity was broken. This proverb reminds us that no matter our differences, we must stand together or risk losing everything to outsiders.
Adami Mogo 93.1 FM. Yato.
Àsìkò ìròyìn ti tó, bóyá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́n, lónílé lálejò bóyá, lọ́mọdé lágbà ó, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ owó, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ ọmọ. Ìròyìn tó jẹ́ ojúlówó rédíò yìí lẹ ti máa gbọ́. 93.1 FM ìkànnì tó tayọ, Lekki la máa fi kalẹ̀ sí nígboro Èkó. Adami Mogo FM bóyá.
àsìkò pọ̀pọ̀ ṣíṣe ọdún àjíǹde tó gbòde kan Akotan Iroyin ló dé sí ẹtí ìgbẹ̀yìn láti lè ṣe rédíò Adami Mogo 93.1 FM tó kalẹ̀ sí Lekki ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Adeleke Kẹ́hìndé náà ni oníròyìn síwájú ẹ̀gbọ́n àkókò tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹyọ nínú ìròyìn ọ̀hún. Ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ni ó ti mú dá àwọn ará ìlú lójú wípé ètò ààbò tó péye àti ìdáàbòbò ẹ̀mí àwọn ará ìlú ṣe kókó inú ọ̀rọ̀ ìkíni rẹ̀ fún pọ̀pọ̀ ṣíṣe ọdún àjíǹde. Alàgbà Peter Obi àti ilé-iṣẹ́ ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ni wọn kò gbọ́ra wọn yé tó látàrí ìpàdé ilé tí ààrẹ ṣe ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú pẹ̀lú àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí àwọn tí àwọn agbébọn ṣe àkọlù sí nílùú jọ́ọ̀sì. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti kéde gbígbégi dínà àwọn ojúnà kọ̀ọ̀kan látàrí ayẹyẹ Fanti Carnival tí yóò wáyé ní ọjọ́ Ajé tí ń bọ̀. Wáyé o, ìròyìn ọ̀hún rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Òní ni ó ṣe àfihàn ọ̀kan nínú ọjọ́ tí ó ṣe pàtàkì nínú ìgbé ayé àwọn onígbàgbọ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn onígbàgbọ́ káàkiri àgbáyé ṣe ń ṣe àjọyọ̀ ọdún Ẹtì Rere yẹn Good Friday. Ó jẹ́ ọjọ́ tí ó ṣe àfihàn ìjìyà, kíkànmọ́gi àti ìfarajìn Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa fún àjíǹde àwọn ẹ̀dá ènìyàn. Lásìkò tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí pàtàkì ọjọ́ òní, àlùfáà Mirabel Mary Daniel ti ilé ìjọsìn Methodist Church Cathedral of Unity sọ di mímọ̀ wípé àgbélébù náà ni ó dúró fún àpẹẹrẹ ìfẹ́ àti ìfarajì. Ó wá rọ àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi láti fààyè gba ìbáṣepọ̀ tó lọ́rìn, ìfẹ́ra ẹni dénú àti ìforíjì nínú gbogbo ìdáwọ́lé wọn lójoojúmọ́, tó sì tọ́ka rẹ̀ wípé èyí ni ó jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ìríjú Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa. Nínú àwọn tí ó tún sọ̀rọ̀ láti rí Venerable Festus Ọ̀para ti ìjọ Anglican ti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó tẹpẹlẹ mọ́ pàtàkì ikú Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa, tó sì ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìpìlẹ̀ ìgbàgbọ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi. Fún ogunlọ́gọ̀ àwọn onígbàgbọ́, ọjọ́ yìí kì í ṣe láti rántí ikú Kristi bí kò ṣe pé ìránnilétí ìfẹ́ tí Ọlọ́run ní àti ìlérí ìgbàlà rẹ̀ fún àwọn ẹ̀dá aráyé. Ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ti sọ di mímọ̀ pé ìgbìyànjú láti yanjú ìṣòro ètò ààbò tó ń ṣe ségesège nílẹ̀ yìí ni ó ti ń so èso rere. Ààrẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ìdánilójú ọ̀yí nínú àtẹ̀sóde rẹ̀ láti sàmì ayẹyẹ ọdún àjíǹde ti ọdún yìí eléyìí tó gbòde kan, tó sì tọ́ka rẹ̀ wípé pọ̀pọ̀ ṣíṣe ọdún àjíǹde òun náà ni ó gbọ́dọ̀ rán wa létí ìfarajì, àyíká rẹ̀ ọkàn àti láti ṣe àṣeyọrí ìmọ́lẹ̀ borí òkùnkùn. Ó tẹnumọ́ wípé bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn ológun àti àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ elétò ààbò gbogbo tí ó kù wọ́n ń gbìyànjú, bẹ́ẹ̀ àdójúkọ tí ó ń kojú ètò ààbò orílẹ̀-èdè sì ń tẹ̀síwájú sí i. Inú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ lásìkò tó lọ ṣe àbẹ̀wò ìbánikẹ́dùn sílùú Jos ní ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau, àwọn adarí elétò ààbò gbogbo ti mú àrídájú ìlọsíwájú wa bí àwọn ikọ̀ ilẹ̀ òkèèrè ṣe ń kórajọ láti ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn tó gbópọn fún orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà nípa ètò ààbò. Òǹdíje dípò ààrẹ lẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú Labour lọ́dún 2023, alàgbà Peter Obi ni ó ti bẹnu àtẹ́lu ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu látàrí ọwọ́ tí ó fi mú àbẹ̀wò ìbánikẹ́dùn sí ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau tí ó ṣe ní kòpẹ́kòpẹ́ yìí. Obi lójú òpó X rẹ̀ ó dá ìbẹ̀rù ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu pẹ̀lú bí ó ti ṣe ìpàdé pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tí jàǹbá náà ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú, èyí tí ó yẹ kí ó lọ ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí àwọn agbègbè tí jàǹbá ọ̀hún ti bẹ́ sílẹ̀. Ó wá ṣe àpèjúwe ìgbésẹ̀ náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìwà àìnítara ọkàn, tó sì tẹpẹlẹ mọ́ wípé aṣáájú tòótọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ fi ara rẹ̀ hàn lójúkojú àti láti bá wọn kẹ́dùn lásìkò rògbòdìyàn ọ̀hún. Síwájú àkókò yìí ni olùdámọ̀ràn pàtàkì sí ààrẹ lórí ìfọ̀rọ̀lédè àti ọgbọ́n àtinúdá alàgbà Báyọ̀ Ọ̀nànúgà ti sọ di mímọ̀ pé ààrẹ ti ṣe ìpàdé pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí tí wọ́n fi ara káṣá nínú jàǹbá ọ̀hún ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú látàrí pé ojúnà ìgbéra pápákọ̀ òfurufú ìpínlẹ̀ náà ni kò fi àyè gba ìgbéra ọkọ̀ òfurufú àṣálẹ́ látàrí àìnító àwọn ohun èlò tí ó yẹ. Inú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ó sọ di mímọ̀ pé èyí ni kò fún ààrẹ ní àǹfààní láti wá ọkọ̀ lọ sí àárín gbùngbù ìlú láti lọ pàdé àwọn tí jàǹbá náà kàn kó sì padà kí ilẹ̀ ó tó ṣú padà sílùú Àbújá. Àjọ elétò ìdìbò INEC lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ló ti ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ yìí pé bí àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú African Democratic Congress bá ní lọ́kàn láti tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú ìpàgọ́ àpapọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú wọn, ilé ẹjọ́ yóò kéde àbájáde ètò ìdìbò wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àìlẹ́tọ̀ọ́ tó tí wọ́n sì kéde àwọn tí ó ń ka èsì rẹ̀ bá tẹ̀lé wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tó jáwé olúborí lásìkò ètò ìdìbò. Alága àgbà àjọ elétò ìdìbò ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Joash Amópìtàn òun náà ni ó sọ̀rọ̀ yìí nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn oníròyìn. Àjọ elétò ìdìbò INEC ní kò lè bójútó ìpàgọ́ àpapọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC títí àsìkò tí ilé ẹjọ́ bá da ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC láre o. Amópìtàn tó fèsì ọ̀rọ̀ eléyìí tí àwọn abala kan tí ṣe abala ti ikọ̀ àwọn alàgbà David Mark ń léwájú rẹ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC ọ̀hún wípé wọn kò ní ìgbàgbọ́ nínú àjọ elétò ìdìbò tí wọ́n sì ń pè fún yíyọ bí ẹni yọ jìgá alága àgbà àjọ ọ̀hún. Ó wá tẹ̀síwájú wípé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú African Democratic Congress ni wọn ò lè fi ẹ̀sùn kan àjọ elétò ìdìbò wípé wọ́n ń gbè sí ẹ̀yìn ẹnìkan ju ẹnìkan lọ nítorí pé rògbòdìyàn tí ó ń lọ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ọ̀hún ní kìí ṣe láti ọwọ́ ikọ̀ àjọ elétò ìdìbò ilẹ̀ yìí. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress ni ó ti rọ àwọn abala ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC eléyìí tí alàgbà David Mark ń léwájú rẹ̀ láti tẹ̀lé ìlànà tí ó tọ́ tí ó sì yẹ yàgò kúrò nínú àti máa ṣe àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí lọ́nà látàrí fàákájà ọ̀rọ̀ adarí ilé tí ó ń bẹ́ sílẹ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ọ̀hún. Ẹni tó jẹ́ akọ̀wé àgbà ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ajíbọ́lá Bashiru lásìkò tó ń bá wọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí òde yìí fi ọwọ́ òsì dá ìpè tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC ń pè kí wọ́n yọ alága àgbà ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà kí wọ́n yọ alága àgbà ẹgbẹ́ àjọ elétò ìdìbò orílẹ̀-èdè tó sì ṣe àpèjúwe ìgbésẹ̀ náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun tí kò bá ìlànà ìjọba àwarawa lọ tó sì lòdì sí ìlànà ìṣèdásílẹ̀ àjọ elétò ìdìbò lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Àjọ INEC ni ó ti kéde yíyọwọ́ àwọn lẹ́ẹ̀kan nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn adarí nínú wọn ni ó ti dárúkọ alága àgbà ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ọ̀hún alàgbà David Mark láìgbàgbé akọ̀wé àgbà wọn alàgbà Rauf Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá títí di àsìkò tí àbájáde ìgbẹ́jọ́ ilé ẹjọ́. Ìgbésẹ̀ yìí tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àǹfààní ipò òṣèlú èyí tí ìṣèjọba ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress eléyìí tí ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà rẹ̀ Bọ́lá Tinubu ń léwájú rẹ̀ ń lò láti ṣe màgòmágó nínú ètò ìdìbò gbogbogbò tí ń bọ̀ lọ́dún tí ń bọ̀. Alákòóso àjọ ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó alàgbà Fatai Tijani ni ó ti pàṣẹ títari àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ elétò ààbò àti àwọn ohun èlò wọn lọ sí gbogbo agbègbè ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó látàrí pọ̀pọ̀ ṣinṣin ayẹyẹ ọdún àjíǹde tó gbòde kan. Inú àtẹ̀sóde rẹ̀ eléyìí tí agbẹnusọ àjọ náà ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí abilékọ Abímbọ́lá Adébísí fi léde ó ní kọmíṣánná ọ̀hún ó mú dá àwọn ará ìlú lójú pé ètò ààbò tó gbópọn ni wọ́n ti ṣètò rẹ̀ síwájú àti lẹ́yìn ayẹyẹ ọdún àjíǹde. Ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ọ̀hún ni ó ti ṣètò gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tí ó yẹ láti rí i dájú pé ayẹyẹ ọdún àjíǹde ọ̀hún ló lọ ní àlàáfíà pẹ̀lú ètò ààbò tó gbópọn jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Ó wá sọ di mímọ̀ pé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá àti àwọn ohun èlò wọn ni wọ́n ti taari sí àwọn agbègbè eléyìí tó ṣe pàtàkì tó ṣe kókó jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó láìgbàgbé àwọn ilé ìjọsìn, àwọn ibi ìgbafẹ́, àwọn ojúnà márosẹ̀, àwọn ibùdókọ̀ àti àwọn ibi tí ohun amáyédẹrùn ìjọba wà jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ yìí lójúnà àti ṣe àrídájú ètò ààbò tó péye. Ó wá kí gbogbo àwọn onígbàgbọ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi kó ayẹyẹ ọdún àjíǹde tó sì rọ̀ wọ́n láti ṣàmúlò pàtàkì ìfẹ́, ìṣọ̀kan àti láìgbàgbé ìfarajì àti àlàáfíà tí pọ̀pọ̀ ṣinṣin ọdún àjíǹde tí ó dúró fún nígbàyé ẹ̀dá onígbàgbọ́. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti kéde títìpa ráńpẹ́ àwọn ojúnà kọ̀ọ̀kan látàrí ayẹyẹ Fanti Carnival tí yóò wáyé lọ́jọ́ Ajé Monday ọjọ́ 6 oṣù yìí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Inú àtẹ̀sóde nípasẹ̀ ẹ̀ka àjọ ìjọba tí ń rí sí ètò ìgbafẹ́ àti àṣà àti ìṣe ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí náà ni wọ́n kéde rẹ̀ sóde pé gbígbégi dínà àwọn ojúnà ọ̀hún náà ni ó wà lára akitiyan láti ṣàmójútó lílọ bíbọ̀ ọkọ̀ lójúnà àti dájú pé ètò lọ́ọ̀nà ní àlàáfíà. Àwọn ojúnà tí wọn yóò gbégi dínà rẹ̀ láti rí King George V Road láti yà ní ilé epo Mobi ní olóbìrípo oníkan wọ inú gbọ̀ngàn Tafawa Balewa. Ilé ìgbé àwọn lọ́gàá ológun ìyẹn Flagstaff House wọnú gbọ̀ngàn Tafawa Balewa. Ìjáde sí Marina tí a bá gba ilé ìjọba sí TBS, bákan náà agbègbè Campbell tí a bá gba Old Defence Building àti ojúnà Catholic Mission tí a bá gba ilé ìjọsìn St Nicholas wọlé. Gbogbo àwọn ojúnà yìí ni wọn yóò tì pa bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti aago 7 òwúrọ̀ ọjọ́ ajé Monday tó jẹ́ ọjọ́ ayẹyẹ ọ̀hún. Wọ́n wá gba àwọn awakọ̀ àti àwọn ará ìlú lámọ̀ràn láti ṣẹ́nàgbà bí ó ti yẹ kí wọ́n sì ṣe àmúlò àwọn ojúnà mìíràn lásìkò ọ̀hún. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí wọ́n wá kọminú látàrí ìnira tí títì pa àwọn ojúnà ọ̀hún ìbáfà fáwọn ará ìlú tí wọ́n sì ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ àwọn ará ìlú lásìkò pọ̀ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọdún Fanti Carnival ọ̀hún. Àkótán ìròyìn kò ní ju báyìí lọ nírọ̀lẹ́ tòní, ṣùgbọ́n ṣáká tó máa lọ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn kókó tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹyọ nínú ìròyìn ọ̀hún. Níròyìn tí a kà sí tí gbọ́ yín nírọ̀lẹ́ tòní, a kà sí létí pé ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ti mú dá àwọn ará ìlú lójú wípé ètò ààbò tó péye àti ìdáàbòbò ẹ̀mí àwọn ará ìlú ó ṣe kókó ṣe pàtàkì nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ìkíni wọn fún pọ̀pọ̀ ṣíṣe ọdún àjíǹde tó gbòde kan. Alàgbà Peter Obi àti iléeṣẹ́ ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ni wọn kò gbọ́ra wọn yé tó látàrí ìpàdé tí ààrẹ ṣe ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú pẹ̀lú àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí àwọn tí àwọn agbébọn ṣe àkọlù sí nílùú Jọ́ọ̀sì. Àtúkàsí lè pè ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti kéde gbígbégi dínà àwọn ojúnà kọ̀ọ̀kan látàrí ayẹyẹ Fanti Carnival tí yóò wáyé lọ́jọ́ ajé Monday tí ń bọ̀ yìí. Àkótán ìròyìn kò ní ju báyìí lọ nírọ̀lẹ́ tòní, yókù tún di ọ̀la òde yìí nígbà tẹ́ máa pàdé àwọn akọ ẹgbẹ́ mi fún òyìn lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Àdámi Mógò 93.1 FM tó kalẹ̀ sílùú Lẹ́kì ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Ǹjẹ́ ní orúkọ Ayọ̀ Adékẹ̀yẹ tó jẹ́ olóòtú ìròyìn náà lèmi Kẹ́hìndé Adélékè tí mò ń sọ fún gbogbo yín pé a kú pọ̀pọ̀ ṣíṣe ọdún àjíǹde tó gbòde kan ọ̀pọ̀ rẹ̀ náà láṣẹ lóòkè pẹ́ o. Ẹ ṣé o tẹ́ǹtẹ́ ti síwájú ká pàdé láago 2 àṣálẹ́ òní lórí àkànṣe ètò fàájì ń ṣàn títí àkókò ọ̀hún